Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Miracle Monday call. I'm Bhimi Cayce, Senior Presidential Director. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Amy Homsey. How you doing tonight, Amy?
I'm well, Bimi. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have two great testimonials, right, Bimi?
Absolutely. It's going to be mind-blowing. So we have some pictures. I'm going to let you know now. They're a little bit on the graphic side. It's going to be the second half. So just prepare yourself, but they're great before and after pictures. So to get going here, everyone, first I want to welcome all the guests that are here, people that are checking us out for the first time, trying to see what is going on with what their friends are telling them about LifeWave, what is all the noise about, and you're going to be impressed and you're going to see some remarkable stories, hear about a technology that has taken the world by storm, where there's no other company in the world that has what we have. And this technology is a way to absolutely change the quality of your health, your vitality, and your wellness. This product works. I know you're here to see that. Does it work? Are there testimonials? Is there evidence? This is a patented technology. It delivers what it says and it activates the body to go into a healing mechanism. And you'll hear more about that. So it'll work for you, it works for other people. And we're so happy to hear from our guests tonight. And David Schmidt is our CEO and founder and visionary, and he is the one who created this technology over 10 years ago. No, over 6 years ago. Sorry, it was over 10 years in development. So, what I'd like to do is just jump right in. I'm going to turn it over to Amy, and she's going to introduce our first guest and our disclaimer. So, welcome on, Amy.
Thank you so much, Bimi. And again, folks, welcome. Welcome to this call. And we especially want to welcome the brand new people here. If you're checking this out for the very first time, you are definitely in for a treat. We're going to be talking about the power of this patch. And I have the honor of bringing on our first testimonial. So Lane, if you could unmute, and while you're doing that, I just want everyone to know, folks, what you're going to hear is information. We're here just to share information on a patented technology that is global, worldwide. Bimi and I personally got amazing results or we wouldn't be here, right? But you know, this is not to treat or heal or cure anything. And we're not here to make any medical diagnosis either. This is just for informational purposes. And the testimonials that are coming up, this is their personal story. So with that, I want to bring on the newlywed, Mrs. Lane, right? Miss Lane, how are you? Lane Heard Bop, right? Did I get that right?
Nerd pop.
Bop.
P-O-P, yes.
Awesome. I love it. So congratulations first of all, for the recent marriage ceremony. So I saw the photos on Facebook. So congratulations, Lane.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, guys,
So, yeah. Lane is coming to us from Georgia. And Lane, you are 67 years young?
I am.
All right. Awesome. Just so you know, what we want to do is just share her story. So Lane, if you could tell everyone how long you've been on the patches, what were you dealing with prior to, you know, before you even knew about this technology, what kind of challenges were you dealing with on a, you know, daily basis? And then how long have you been on it and how are you doing today?
Okay, I started 10 months ago using the X39 patch. I now use additional ones, but in the beginning, I started with X39. I had lip cancer and 2 surgeries that were very painful and protracted for whatever reasons, and that was in March of 2022. Following that, I had COVID. Early summer and late summer, I had to go through radiation. and it knocked me out. I was very outgoing, athletic, worked in my yard all the time, never sat still. And after those three things hit me, I didn't have any energy. I had no get up and go. I was depressed. I stayed indoors and I was just a miserable human being. I was introduced to the patches and I was one of those who responded very, very quickly. I was blessed. 2 days after starting X39, I had energy galore. I got up, went out and push mowed the yard and weed eated and blew it off. My daughter was like, "What is wrong with you? You haven't done that in 2 years." And I said, "I don't know, but I feel fabulous." So anyway, that's what it started for me. I had also been experiencing brain fog where I was losing my train of thought. My mother had dementia. That was very frightening to me. I am a retired registered nurse, so I was very on top of these symptoms and I didn't really know which way to go with them. The doctors didn't really want to help me or say anything to help me. But I was finding that with X39, my brain fog lifted, my depression from all that I'd been through was lifting. 3 weeks in, I was able to look at a phone number and then type it into my phone where I couldn't do that prior. I'd have to keep looking.
Wow.
I would
Wow.
mix up the numbers. So, and I would stop forgetting what I was going to say, which was a delight to me. It was a relief to me. So those were the main things that happened really quickly in the first 3 months. Also, this was staggering to me. I had been fighting stage 3 renal failure for 7 years. I'd been seeing a nephrologist every 3 months, and my lab values of GFR is glomerular filtration rate. And that's what my doctor focused on. A normal person has a 60 or above. Mine hovered between 36 and 52.
Wow.
If I got COVID, it would drop into the 30s, which is just terrible.
And,
And
and let me interject real quickly, and if you don't mind.
sure.
So that's kidneys, correct?
Kidneys, yes. My
Okay.
kidneys.
All right.
Yes, my kidneys. So, all they could tell me to do, modern medicine said, drink a lot of water, which I did till I was floating away, but it never improved my kidney function. So
Mm.
I was using the patch for 3 months, went to the doctor, she did my labs and came in the door just eyes wide as they could be. She was just blown away. She goes, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I said, "Well, what's my GFR?" And she said, "It's 64. It had been 52 3 months prior." Y'all, that's a 14-point increase.
Wow.
That's unheard of. And she was just blown away. And I told her then I'm no longer a kidney patient, so I'll see you later.
Yes.
But of course, I do go and see her regularly still, and it's staying right there in the normal range. And
Incredible.
I can't speak highly enough of the patches. They have changed my entire world, my life, my skin. I was wrinkled. I mean, I looked 72. And now, well, not that that's old girls and boys, but I was feeling really bad, especially my neck and chest, my face, and it just all cleared up. I mean, I've got some close up before and afters, and it's just amazing. So I'm tickled to death. It has done wonders for me.
Well, I will tell you, we spoke shortly after you got on the patches, and I know you did have, relatively quick results. And by the way, everyone's going to be different, and Bhimi's going to talk about that in a few moments. But I will tell you, you look younger and younger every time I see you. Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. You do too.
Well, thank you. Yeah. And so does Bhimi, and so does everyone else on this line that has worn this technology, right? But
It's wonderful technology, and I love, love, love sharing it.
and you
And-
love helping others. And Lane, that is why we're here, right? We
right.
all got a result. We know people need hope, quality of life, and we have something that is so unique and so different. But I am so happy that this technology found you, right? It found you, and whoever shared it with you blessed you, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
yes. And thank you so much for taking time and coming on here. And we're all so happy for you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Awesome, guys. And we're just getting started. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Bhimi Cayce, and she's going to have another testimonial. So Bhimi, take it away.
Okay, wow, Lane, that was incredible. So many different results. This is what's amazing. It's not just one result. When anyone shares, it's one thing and another thing and another thing because the body is healing. We don't even realize, excuse me, we don't even realize what's off until we start healing and seeing results. So thank you, Lane, for that. So I'm excited to bring on our next guest. He is from Houston. His name is Carlos Nassar, and he is in the Medicare programs, helping people choose the right program. And he's going to share with us tonight a little bit about himself. But his father, oh my gosh, his father has had miraculous wound healings and some other things that he'll talk about. So, Carlos, I'd like to welcome you in, and we do have pictures. I will be showing those as he's speaking. So you can unmute yourself, Carlos, and
Thank you, Bimi. Can you
good.
hear me okay?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you allowing me to come on and share my story, or actually share my father's story. As you mentioned, I am in the senior health industry. So uh, I currently take care of my father as well. I'm a caretaker, and my father is 96 years old currently. When we were going through this and our first got introduced to the patches, he was 95. And he suffers from and being diagnosed from memory issues that aren't always diagnosed generally with elderly people, that affects your memory on an ongoing basis. Can't remember anything frequently, so it's quite a challenge. um, when I was first introduced to the patches, I was really a little bit skeptical. They said, somebody said, well, these could probably help your dad, and said, well, let's take a look at it. In February of 2024, uh, unfortunately, my dad fell, as a lot of seniors do, and he broke his hip. He had a hip surgery at 95 years old. Doctor said, you got to watch him. He's, statistically, we don't live, that long. And nobody's ever been tested this old on a hip surgery at 95 years old. So he was recovering, and he had made a quick recovery, generally speaking. Um, he was back recuperating 2 months into it. Well, within 2 months, he fell again. And this time it was pretty bad. He broke his elbow at this point and ripped off all the skin, as you can see there on the photo. At this moment, I was talking to my wife and I said, this would be the perfect time to start trying some of these patches. This is a way we can have tangible evidence to see really whether or not this works. And so I started putting the X39 right behind his neck and the Aeon directly behind his elbow, real close to where the injury happened. The X-ray, mobile X-ray came out. They said it was fractured. It was a fractured elbow. In 1 week, I should note that his nurse was coming in to check on him because she said, "Okay, we need to check on him. So this is pretty bad." I said, "How long do you think it'll take to heal?" This is probably about 12 months for someone his age. The picture you see now on the image screen is 1 week after using the X39 and the Aeon. In week 2, she came back, and he had healed even more dramatically. At this point, my father, who could not put his elbow inside of his shirt on week 2 or before, was now putting his elbow inside of his shirt, going backwards into his shirt as you normally put on. In week 3, it was almost incredibly, you couldn't even see it, barely see it. You could just see a bad rash, look like a skill. It healed just so quickly. And in week 4, which is the next photo that you have, the nurse said, "Yeah, I think you have something here. I think you're onto something." I've never seen anyone in the 40 years that she's been a nurse to heal this quickly at that age. Again, my dad was 95 years old at that point. Today, he's 96. In between that time, I was going through my own issues. I was suffering from a post-pandemic bowel issues, if you will. And also, I had a rash on my butt that I was too embarrassed to tell anyone about for 16 years. I don't know how I got it, but I had it. And I had tried everything from creams to lotions to sprays to everything, and nothing would work. I started using the glutathione after listening to one of these testimonies. I heard a cardiologist from Florida said that he had his own issues with the same type of thing. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start trying these patches myself. If it worked that quickly on my 95-year-old father, what could it do for me? So I tried the glutathione on my stomach. And in 30 days, my rash was completely gone. In 48 hours, it corrected my bowel issues. And I was about to get in the shower, and I told my wife, I said, "But is it my imagination, or is my rash completely gone?" And she said, "There's nothing there. It's completely gone." I was completely dumbfounded.
And
Uh,
that's after 15 years of having this rash.
that's correct. Nothing worked.
Okay.
So we continue on. The second issue that my later that year, my father, well, actually the first part of the next year in 25, um, my father fell again. This time he fell flat on his face. He scratched himself real bad. That's actually pictured a little bit like a day later. Um, but he bloodied his face. I thought he broke his nose, but he didn't. Had the nurses come out again, checking on him. And continued just to use at this point the X39 and the Aeon patch. And in 1 week, he fell on Ash Wednesday. And on 1 week, he was completely healed from all of these scars. At this point, my dad is 96 years old. And you can see scarring is completely gone in 1 week. And my
Wow.
wife, my wife and I were just amazed. Couldn't believe how fast he was healing. And of course, like anybody, you were going to say something? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And like anybody that has balance issues, uh, you know, we have these challenges right now. My father fell again just recently, which is what we're going through now. At this time, he fractured, compressed fracture of his T12 vertebrae. Extremely painful for him. We had an X-ray, sent him to the emergency room. So yes, it's a complete fracture. It's a fracture. You can see it's right here. They showed it to me. I could see it, and they suggested we go see the spine doctor. In 3 weeks' time, the spine doctor said we have to have an MRI. We could only get in 3 weeks. In the MRI, in the third week, there was no fracture at all.
Wow.
None. And my dad is walking again today.
Your
Incredible.
dad is a poster child for the patches. Oh my gosh, at that age, having so many different falls and recovering like that, he must be amazed, right?
You know, the funny thing about the memory is, he just gets up and starts again. He doesn't realize it. But for us, we're just amazed. And, we just continue to see the amazement improvements that he's going through by continuously using these patches. It's really a blessing.
I know. Thank you for sharing that. I mean,
Thank you.
just think what would have happened if he didn't have the patches with all those falls. So,
Exactly.
thank goodness you started them when you did, and we're so happy to hear his results. and of course your results too. And I know you're sharing it with a lot of older people that you come in contact with, because as people age, we're going to hear about this now. We really do need these patches. So,
I,
any last words you'd like to say, Carlos?
yeah, Beanie, I think the biggest thing is, like most people, I was skeptical in the very beginning. You know, so much in the health industry, you hear about things that, oh, well, it takes time. You need to take a pill. Well, I don't know if a pill's going to work. I don't know if a pill's going to have side effects. I mean, we constantly look at pills and things like that with my father that they want to give him, and I look at, hey, what are the side effects? You know,
Mhm.
my dad's 96. His days are numbered. I'm not going to push something on him that could affect him in a negative way. And once we started taking it and just really took the time to understand it and continue to learn about it, we're just and we're giving it time, and we're just amazingly happy with the results. Hopefully, he'll be around another 10 years.
Thank you. Yes. It definitely will help to extend his life. We do know that. So thank you so much for sharing. We really appreciate that, and Lane as well. And so, folks, you're probably wondering, how does this patch work? These are amazing results in very different categories. And I'm going to just talk a little bit about this remarkable technology. It is a wearable technology, the X39 wafer thin. And David Schmidt, like I mentioned, is the inventor and visionary. This came into effect, this was launched about 6 years ago. And it's very, very advanced because it's using communication and light, what we call phototherapy, which has been around for a very long time. However, the way that David has put this technology together, meaning that inside of this little patch is a crystalline structure of amino acids, salt water, and sugar, and they form a lattice. And the phototherapy part is when you put it on your skin, the light from your skin activates that crystalline structure to send a wavelength back into the body that actually elevates a very important copper peptide called GHK. And you can PubMed this and find numerous articles. It's very, very important in the body. The body does not make enough. And immediately, what starts to happen is over 4,000 genes will start to reset, and DNA starts to repair. And then what happens is that it starts to activate the body to make younger regeneration cells, cells that know how to heal, cells that know how to turn the body on again. So this communication pathway starts going. It's like, when you go out in the sun and the sun hits your body and you start making vitamin D. It's the same kind of mechanism. The signal is turned on, the body goes into healing and regeneration. The patch is not healing. The patch is allowing the body to heal itself. And this is very advanced technology. No drugs, no meds, just your own body light and frequency. So what we suggest is that you wear the patch 12 hours on during the day, the X39, because you need to drink a lot of water and take a good mineral supplement. And take it off at night when your body is repairing. And the other thing that science has shown, that if you're around 35 or so, this is when the body starts diminishing its ability to make these regenerative cells. And after age 60, it's about 80% down. So, in order for the body to stay youthful, to stay vibrant, to really hold wellness and not go into a lot of these compromises we see people with, the body needs to be strong, and that's what the X39 is doing. There's so many benefits. You heard some of them tonight, but we have thousands of testimonials. So what I'd like to do now is turn it over to Amy. Let her give you some information about the company and the technology more and how you can get your hands on these incredible products.
Well, baby, I'm blown away. We're so happy for Lane and Carlos and his dad. And I just want everyone to know that the body can heal itself. We are not healing anything. The patches do not heal or cure anything. But what David Schmidt, our scientist, inventor, found out is that if you give the body the right things, it can heal itself. And that's what we're talking about with this patented technology. And if you're brand new to this, I just want to take a moment and explain to you who LifeWave is. We are a 21-year-old company, folks. We are in 82 countries. So we do business in 82 countries. We have millions of people using this technology. What I love about this is it is natural, like Bhimi said, nothing is going in your body. It's non-transdermal, right? But we have this technology backed by science. We have over 90 clinical studies, okay? Good luck finding that anywhere else with a natural product or something. So we have 200 patents, over 90 clinical studies. We're in 82 countries, and we have been around for 21 years. So we have the technology, we have the knowledge, we have the experience, right? So, folks, what we like to say around here is be the light. We are sharing the light. You want to get back to the person who got you on this call. If you have more questions, get those questions answered. If you need more information, we'll be happy to provide that. But we want you to get this technology for wholesale. We have different wholesale packages. I'll tell you what, I started 5.5 years ago, and here's how I looked at it. What if it works? What if it works? For a little over $3 a day, you could activate your cells and your peptides. Seriously, folks, people are suffering today. We can offer them hope. We can offer them quality of life, right? We can offer maybe time, freedom, and health. And that's why we do this, to share and to help others. So please, please get back to the person who got you on this call. Get your questions answered. Get started today, and who knows where you're going to be in 90 days, 6 months, or a year from now. Now, here's what I do know. That time is going to pass anyway, folks, right? It's going to pass anyway. What if it works? Who do you know that's suffering? Who do you know isn't sleeping, has pain, is anxious, is overwhelmed? We can make a difference in their life. So I want you to think about that. And thank you all for joining us this evening. Have a blessed week, and we will see you soon. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Bye.